switch gears just briefly and talk about education. I have a lot of friends who are in public schools. I had two parents who taught in public schools for 30 years. And I wondered if the three of you had a chance to vote today on No Child Left Behind, what your vote would be. If you would vote yay, if you'd explain the vote and why you made it, and if you voted against it, I would like to know what would have to change about it in order to earn your support.
John, would you like to go first this time?
Education is a very, very important thing to us, and I know it's important to the voters. What I would simply do is refer back to Thomas Jefferson. Don't mean to be an old constitutionalist, but that's the way I am. Thomas Jefferson said that the best way to serve the public is for a college education, well, from primary school all the way to college education, and it could be provided publicly. The best investment we'll ever make in this country will be into our children, because not only is it their future, but it's our future that's at stake also. And they'll tell you that they can't do it, it's too expensive. Well, in 1966, when Ronald Reagan took over California as the governor, they had public education all the way through college. At that time, California had an economy that was absolutely booming, and today they run a deficit that equals many, many small countries because they're not attracting people that they could have. Once they got there and got their education, they stayed there. That's where Silicon Valley came from. That's where these brains went to, and they got it with a free education. And any state that did that, I think, would benefit from that. I think the nation owes it to our children to do that, because it can be done. All we have to do is redirect some of our resources, like maybe away from war and empire building and things of that nature. It'd be very simple to do. I've got a program on my website that will tell you how we can do that.
If I was in Congress today and the vote on No Child Left Behind came before me, if there was not a guarantee that it would be fully funded, which it has never been from day one, I would absolutely vote against it. I'm not a firm believer in No Child Left Behind, as it puts standardized testing on our children. And if you want standard children, that's fine. But I don't want standard children. I want children who are creative, that nurture a creative spirit. I believe in a somewhat nonlinear system of teaching, where we have a mixture of what we have now with math and English and your core subjects. But if you find a student who excels in art, they should be propelled in that direction. We do it a little bit here in Guilford County with our magnet schools. We do it a lot more. Our children are our future. And if we don't nourish that future, we don't have a very bright future. And here in Guilford County specifically, we have several wonderful colleges, but we do a horrible job of retaining that brain power and letting those children go somewhere else to work in somebody else's economy. We need to find a way to bring the businesses here, make sure we're training our kids here so they stay here, and we retain that brain power. But I would vote against No Child Left Behind to answer your question.
I think the principle of educating each child to their maximum potential is absolutely tremendous. It's what we all believe. And I think that No Child Left Behind, in many ways, is trying to achieve that. But it needed to be fully funded. It needs to be fully funded. And it needs to have testing that accepts that some people can't be tested the way that other people can be tested. So yes, I would have voted for it, but I would have had some restrictions or some changes on that. I also realize that education is a function of the state and local governments, and there's a problem that people are teaching to the test locally, and that really isn't the fault of No Child Left Behind. However, we are improving our math and reading numbers. We have made tremendous improvement under this. What I see as a major failure is that our science scores have not improved. They are still hovering at about 57%. And other countries are doing much better. If we want to have the educated people, if we want to prevent Bill Gates from going to India to get engineers, then we've got to improve our education in other areas in science. And I agree that we need well-rounded students. We need to present other opportunities. We need to help children reach their potential with what whatever skills they have.